So before I actually start this video and talk about what this video will be about, I feel like I need to mention this first. My latest video, the one on the Mario movie, has gotten 111 views. What? And in like 3 days? Now this is probably in part due to it being a subject that a lot of people want to know about. Mix that with me actually using the hashtags thing in the description to get more interest, and yeah, it's not too shocking, got more views than usual, but like 5 times more views than usual. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, now on to what this video is about. So, leaks. Everybody loves them, half the time they're fake. We've got some for the Mario movie here. Now, these leaks come from 2 main sources. You've got some 4chan ones, classic, everybody loves them, as well as some Twitter DM ones. Said Twitter account has now been deleted. I don't know why specifically it has. Maybe they did it themselves, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so once again, the video will be split up into different parts, with initially having the 4chan bit, then talking about that, Twitter DM thing, talking about that, comparing the two, all that garbage. So yeah, let's get started. So, let's get into the 4chan leaks. Now, the thing about these is that they have no credibility. Do take everything that I read here with a pinch of salt. It's just a lot of these came up with very similar things being said, with no relation to each other, which does make me think that some of this information might be true. Now, some could be fake, this could be an elaborate plan just to trick people. Like, once again, do take this with a lethal dose of salt. But yes, first thing here. Person says that the movie is an origin story for Mario, something that we kind of expected for a while. Like, the inclusion of Spike just made all of us think that that's the story they're going for, so I kind of don't want this leak to turn out to be true, but eh. Movie title is just Mario. Interesting choice. You think it'd be called Super Mario or something like that, but no, just Mario. Interesting. Soundtrack is what you'd expect, with some jazz, orchestral, some weird ones. Okay, yeah. Interesting that they're bringing up the soundtrack. That's not usually something somebody would say in one of these. Bowser and Peach in particular have some of the best dialogue. I'm not too shocked that Bowser would have some of the best dialogue. I mean, like, he's being played by Jack Black for Christ's sake, and in the RPGs he's usually one of the funniest characters, so. Now, then they explain Charles Martinet's cameos within the film. He says that he voices some humans in New Donk City. Well, they just wrote down ND, so that's what I presume it means. A farm in Moo Moo Meadows, and some notable cameos. Oops. Okay, what do you mean by notable cameos there, mate? Now, a farmer in Moo Moo Meadows is interesting. That is a racetrack in Mario Kart, so it's cool they're getting references to that. I mean, I'm not shocked, like, at all, but still, cool. Then they go on to say that Chris Meledandri is working to honor the game to satisfy people who are familiar with Mario and new audience who aren't as familiar. This is another interesting thing that I'm not too sure what they mean by that. It might just mean that there's references to some of the games or something like that. Look man, all I want is just a Waluigi cameo, okay? Is that too much to ask? Yes. The only Kongs in the movie are Donkey Kong and Cranky. The Koopalings and Junior don't show up at all, however Bowser's younger years are revealed. Interesting. I do wonder what they mean by Bowser's younger years, because we've already seen him as a baby in Yoshi's Island, as well as also in Partners in Time, which kinda... where does that fit into this? In fact, where does a Mario movie fit into this? See, one thing that I've always wanted to do is try and piece together the Mario timeline, but, they don't care, so why should anyone else? This film's just gonna make things even more confusing. Not too shocked about DK and Cranky being the only Kongs in the film. I mean, it's a little weird not having Diddy there, like, he's been there since... the first Donkey Kong Country, but still. So is Cranky, so. Then they go on to say that it's animated to look like a mainline Mario, but with movie quality. So, what I hope this means is that, you know, like the cutscenes in Mario Odyssey and stuff like that, you know how really good those look? Or, well, pretty good. You might not like them, but still, they do look quite nice, so maybe that's what the film will look like. Personally, I'd want it to look like how Mario and Rabbids looks like. Well, the trailer for the new game, like, the cutscene in that, amazing. Make the whole film look like that, would be great. Then they say that most modern Mario characters are present in the movie, and some obscure ones. Okay, so, what do they mean by obscure ones, and what do they mean by modern ones? Now, modern ones, I'm gonna base this off of just, they appear in a lot of modern games. As in the spin-offs, the main titles, all that kind of stuff, so, Waluigi has a chance. Okay, look, Nintendo has to know by now how much Waluigi's wanted. Okay, for Christ's sake, Sakurai knows. He's part of Nintendo, kinda. why doesn't the big guys? Waluigi has appeared in, like, every single spin-off now since he was introduced, pretty much. Like, bar a couple ones which had a much more limited roster due to being on a weaker system, or Mario Kart 7 because God hates us all, I guess. Waluigi Pinball still did show up in that game though, so still kind of a win. Wario definitely has a chance. He's got his own series. You know, he'd be counted as a modern Mario character, I guess. Daisy, as well, I feel could fall into this category. Now, let's move into what obscure ones could be. Now, Spike is a pretty obscure character. Not the enemy, the guy from Wrecking Crew. Though let's be honest, he's probably an enemy there as well. Most people who know Mario probably don't know about all the other games he appeared in, such as Wrecking Crew. See, there's this era with Nintendo where they kind of shoved Mario into a lot of things despite the fact that he really didn't need to be in it. He was just so recognizable they kind of plastered him in all these different things. They've moved away from that a good bit now with him having his own contained series, but there's still a little bit of that. So with them pulling characters as obscure as that, kind of gives me hope for some less obscure characters but still somewhat obscure. I'm saying obscure a lot here, it doesn't even sound like a real word anymore. What do I mean by that? Well, the RPG characters. Christ, would it really kill you to put in the funny block man from Bowser's Inside Story? He's great. He's French, gross, but he's great. I don't have any hopes for like Fawful or any of the villains from the Mario and Luigi series, or even the Paper Mario series to show up. We might get a bean person here or there, or something along those lines, one of the species introduced with those RPGs, but I don't know. Right, so yeah, that's the first leak done. It's already been 5 minutes, Jesus Christ. Prepare for a long one here, I guess. Now, next we've got an interesting leak, which has been made by somebody who actually worked on the film. Or they didn't. Once again, all these could be fake. So they start by saying this is a risk, but I'm willing to let people know who are still skeptical, all that kind of stuff. So, real blast to work on the project. Every single person from the team and Nintendo put as much love as they could into the project. Okay, good. Glad to see they love this. I believe animation is mostly finished around October-November time. Still touching up upon some scenes. We're mostly using time to polish things up and get feedback from test audiences. Interesting. Now, the fact that they've included test audiences here is good because the person who we previously had, or well, I just read, was also a member of this test audience. Test audiences are often done in films just to see if the film works, if there's issues with it, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. You can kind of see now why I'm saying that these line up with each other, which is why I'm making this video, even though I usually wouldn't. That's a lie, I love me some leaks. Next, Mario's design, Jesus, is exactly the same as from the games. Specifically similar to the image above. Now, you know that one image where Mario's throwing Cappy? Yeah, that's the image that they picked. The only major differences being the eyes are more circular and having more realistic textures. Okay, good. I really did like the way the Odyssey looked. I like how each individual follicle of hair on Mario's head was designed differently. Really wasn't necessary, but cool. Mario and Luigi's outfits are their retro attire, similar to how they look in the Mario Kart mobile game. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by retro attire. I haven't actually played Mario Kart Tour, so let me go have a look at that. Okay, so the retro attire in these games is Luigi with inverted colors. You know, he's got green overalls, blue shirt, but it's still the green hat, which is strange but okay. And Mario with the orange overalls, orange hat, and blue shirt. The leaker person man then goes on to say that their outfits are wrecked by Bowser in the second act, then they put on their modern colors for the final. Okay, interesting. This kind of lines up once again with the this is the origin story for Mario type thing that we're seeing a lot. Now, this doesn't confirm anything, but still is interesting that they've all been saying it. There is a lot of fight scenes in this movie. Interesting. I mean, that kind of does make sense, but also, no, it doesn't. I don't know, it is weird. Other characters that appear are Daisy and Toadette. That could be the more mainline characters that the previous leak was talking about. Though we do have plans for characters like Bowser Jr., Wario, and Yoshi for potential sequels. Now, first of all, Yoshi not being included is very interesting. Yoshi was a big part of Yoshi's Island, which is supposed to be like where Mario comes from with funny Baby Mario Man, so them not being in this film is a strange choice. Bowser Jr., that does kind of make sense. He's introduced a bit later on. This film is mostly for people who aren't the most aware of Mario, other than the basics, such as, look, Mario, Luigi, Bowser kidnap Peach, oh no, go save. And then Wario. They're thinking about Wario, like everybody often does. I like that. The fact that they're already thinking of sequels is quite a good thing, because I want more sequels to this. Look, this film is going to do really well. Doesn't matter if... Look, as long as the film isn't completely horrendous, it's going to do well. Now, even if it turns out generic, which I feel it might, hopefully not. Some of these leaks kind of stay otherwise, but still. If it does turn out generic, it's still going to rake in a lot of cash, which can then mean more sequels. The first Sonic movie, all things considered, wasn't too connected to Sonic, bar Sonic himself and a couple of bits of lore at the start. However, the second film seems to lean in a lot more onto Sonic, with the Master Emerald, or whatever it's called, and Knuckles and all that. So hopefully the Mario movie situation will follow along that kind of thing, where the first film doesn't really do too much, and then the second and third and whatever else then goes into it a little bit more. We were given so much freedom to put as many references to the games and other media as we want. Interesting. So of course, one big thing in movies is references to other movies and shows and all of that kind of stuff. Hopefully, some of the people on the team, when making these references to games, were big fans of the RPGs and could put just little lines from Fawful in there, or, from Paper Mario kind of stuff. That'd be great. Movie serves as an origin story. Now, they've specifically specified this. You guess this from earlier with the Mario and Luigi's outfits, retro attire, all that kind of stuff, but now they're specifically saying it. It is their origin story, using major elements from Donkey Kong, yeah, Mario Bros, okay, Wrecking Crew, yeah, no, that makes sense with Spike, and Super Mario Brothers, or Bros. Yeah, could kind of guess that. They've went into a little bit more of what they're actually pulling elements from, so that's good. Yeah, no, that's all I have to really say about that. Next, as a reference to New Super Mario Bros. And Yoshi's Island, oh boy, the climax involves Kamek as a last-ditch effort to transform Bowser into an even bigger monster. Yippee. Like, this has been in, every single New Super Mario Bros. Game at this point. This was the ending to Mario Galaxy 2, Yoshi's Island, as I said, Yoshi's New Island, Yoshi's Island DS probably had it as well. Bowser becoming a large lad is just part of the game, so that being in the movie does make sense. They then go on to say that, knowing our luck, it'll probably be the most marketed thing in the trailers. True. The thing about movie trailers is that they spoil so much just to show you all the big moments, so that when you actually go into the cinema, you can see the context around the big moments, but not get any new big moments, really. A lot of trailers have been moving away from that, though, so hopefully the Mario movie will also move away from this. Post-credits teaser involves Dry Bowser. Of course there's a post-credits teaser. That makes sense. Weird, but also makes sense. The writers have actually outlined a direct sequel. Alright. But it hasn't been greenlit yet, as they want to do a trilogy with potential spin-offs. That is good. If there is a sequel, you obviously know who I want to be in there. Grover Cleveland. Nope, it's Waluigi. I really do like the fact that they're open to sequels. I said this earlier in the same leak, but still interesting. So yeah, that's the second leak down. This one felt a little bit more genuine with some of the specific things that they've been saying. If we see some of these elements in the trailer for the Mario movie, then we can assume that the rest of this leaked information on this specific one, not in all of them, is correct. So this next leak is split into two different images, which is kind of annoying, but still, here we go. So this leaker starts off by saying, honestly pretty good compared to most Illumination films. I'm not sure how involved Nintendo was with this film, or if Illumination actually wanted to get a good image, but here's a bit of the elements from the movie I remember. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, they're from a screen tester of the Mario movie, a test audience, that kind of thing. While it's CGI, animated beautifully too, good to hear, there were some instances of sprite-based animation and even traditional animation. That is interesting to see that they're trying these different styles. Once again, they could be fake, I've already said this for previous two, but I feel like it needs to be said again for each and every single individual one, I guess. Sprite animation makes sense. Mario's quite known for his 8-bit appearance on the NES and even the 16-bit on the Super Nintendo, so yeah. From what I know, there are a lot of enemies I've spotted from other games. Some of these include spiky armored Koopas. That could be... You know those guys in Paper Mario, like the guard guys? You know when you play like, the Peach sections, you try to leave the room or you get caught by them? That could be those armored ones. I don't know the name of them, but still. The fact that they're saying the spiky armored Koopas does make me think that that might be what we're seeing here. Ninjas and Charging Chucks. Charging Chucks, of course, come from Super Mario World. Ninjas coming from, I think, Mario 2. Mario, Bowser, and Peach get the most development of the film, and are all three my favorite characters in the film. Yeah, I read that right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. They're like the three main people in any Mario story. You've got Mario, who has to save Peach from Bowser. Most Mario games follow that exact formula. Sometimes it's a bit different, but in most cases, it's Peach getting kidnapped still, so... Cranky Kong only appears 3 times. once along with the DK crew. Now, interesting, they said DK crew here, meanwhile the first leak said that there was only Donkey Kong and Cranky, so strange. Some of these leaks, of course, could be fake and could just be pulling from other leaks, so some information conflicting with each other is to be expected. One prior kidnapping Mayor Pauline, and at the end where he congratulates Mario. Alright, yeah, makes sense, there's a big celebration at the end. He does break the fourth wall and even remarks about the disastrous 93 film. Cool. Honestly, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a reference to that film within this. Then they're going to say that Jack Black killed it as Bowser, very intimidating while also having the best jokes. Not shocked, Jack Black, great actor man person. He always does get the laughs. Voice cast was pretty good all around. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Weakest part of the film was the second act. The bros begin their journey. While it had fun bits, it doesn't compare to the beginning and the end. So, now this bit is interesting. So as we know from the previous leak, the second act of the film is where they eventually get beaten up by Bowser, lose their clothes, and then, or get their clothes destroyed and then wear the new colors with a big final bit. It would make sense for the second act to have the beginning of their journey anyway, with the first bit entirely focusing on, oh, look at me, I'm Plumber Man, wish there was more, oh look, Portal, yippee. Yes, I am going to keep on pointing out the very obvious similarities between these just because, for fun. Climax feels like it took pages from the Sonic movie. Bowser gets huge and chases everyone across a system of pipes, which sends everyone to areas from the games, I presume. Okay, so one thing with these people is that they got a variety of people who also don't know the Mario thing that well. Like, they're not Giga fans like I, who are really cool and have played all the games. Yeah. So do expect some language here to be kind of, I don't know what's being talked about here, so first of all, Bowser gets huge. We saw this in the previous leak, as you remember, because you're probably not an idiot. Interesting that they're being brought up. Of course, it does make a lot of sense. This has happened in games prior, so, you know, it could just be a very good guess, but still. Chases everyone across a system of pipes is interesting. Now, in the previous video, I mentioned how the IMDb page has said that it's in a labyrinth of labyrinth of pipes. So, you know, I'm just saying, they could have just taken from that and sticked all these other things around it, but you never know. This could just add credibility to this leak. Now, which sends everyone to areas from the games, I presume. Now, remember earlier when they said that they're allowed to reference as many things as possible? Perhaps this big labyrinth of pipes could lead to some memorable areas. We might see somebody pop out in Pillow Island or Rogueport or any of those places. Isle Delfino is definitely a possibility, because, you know, it's Sunshine as a second 3D Mario. Bob on Battlefield, you know, places like that from Mario 64 could be possible as well. They then go on to say, no dance party ending either. Thank Christ. So many of these films end with a big dance party. I'm happy to see that they're saying it doesn't happen here. It ends with Mario, Luigi, and Toad being seen as heroes. I wouldn't see Toad as a hero, I'd see him as an annoying piece of poo-poo, but okay. Ending on a high note with turning Toad's house into the bros' new plumbing business. Alright. Post-credits scene of Dry Bowser and Kamek being rescued by a mysterious Dark Mario, racism, riding his cockpit with a smile on it. Once again, post-credit scene of Bowser, or of Dry Bowser. Very interesting. Now, of course, this could just be a reference. Well, not reference. This could just be them. I played one of the games, we saw Dry Bowser, and just sticking it in there because it makes sense. But it's just interesting that it does share the same similarities as the other leak we looked at. The Dark Mario is obviously Bowser Jr. If you played Sunshine, I feel so sorry for you. You saw that Bowser dressed up as funny Dark Mario with his magical paintbrush, so yeah. So yes, once again, this leak does have a lot of similarities with some of the previous ones. It does have a little bit of clashing information with the DK crew bit, unless the DK crew could just mean Donkey Kong as well. You never know. But these similarities are why I made this video. Just, there's so many things being shared. Of course, it could just be a coincidence, but still, if you add all these coincidences up together, it just seems strange. So, the Fire Flower, Power Stars, Ice Flower, and Super Mushroom were included. Different leak, but it might be by the same person, so that's why I'm not starting it off. It's part of the same recording. You can't tell that fact, but still. Yeah. No, that's some of these are just the power-ups that are being included. Not surprised by that. Toad did steal Hammer Bros suit, which I think maybe even nod to Mario 3. Cool. Super Mushroom makes sense as one of the most iconic Mario power-ups. Same with the Fire Flower. Power Stars are also up there when it comes to recognizability. Ice Flowers are very interesting. And hey, it's a reference to Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, the first game where Ice Flowers appeared in. It's not a reference to that, it's probably a reference to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but hey, I can pretend. They're then going to say that it's surprisingly not woke. Okay, Peach is treated as a character, but there isn't really a girl boss moments with her. Even having an escape scene just to be kidnapped again, it's apparently that she feels insecure about herself. Okay, that's interesting. Basically, what they're saying is that they're not going to be like the knockoff Wild Style from the Emoji Movie, they're going to be a character, which is good. I like characters. Right, on to the next one. Now, this next one is done through Twitter DMs, so we've moved away from the 4chan ones now, and this is interesting. So they start off by saying, I can't say when I saw it, but I saw a test screening of the movie. While it's visually stunning and the music and songs were catchy, once again, reinforcing the looks nice, sounds nice kind of thing we saw in the previous leaks, there isn't much for adults who aren't familiar with Mario to enjoy aside from the celebrity voice cast. So this person here isn't quite aware of the whole Mario franchise, as you'll see later on within the messages that they sent, so I'm not shocked they didn't really get too much enjoyment from it with a film that's going to be most likely comprised of a lot of references and stuff mostly for kids. So, some other stuff regarding Mario and Luigi's outfits. His shirt was bluish purple instead of brown, Luigi had green overalls and a bluish purple shirt. Remember in the second leak, I believe, where they said that their outfits look like the funny Mario Kart Tour ones? Yeah, they're saying the same thing here. Now, the thing is that when now the leaks are separated from two different platforms, it does add a lot more credibility to them. Like, the chances of somebody looking at another leak on 4chan and comprising their own with something information from that, yeah, that can happen. But when it's across two different entire social media platforms, it is interesting. They then go on to talk about the enemies featured, so there's Goombas, Koopas, those bullet things come out of the launcher, Bullet Bills, Christ, learn your Mario enemies, that annoying thing that rides in a cloud, Lakitu, jeez, like, it's like they don't even know these things. But there's also these black things with teeth, they almost look like ink. Now, black things with teeth can mean a lot of things, like it could be a chain chomp, it could be a chain chomp. I don't know, it's weird black things with teeth because that look like ink. As I said, all I can think of is like chain chomp or maybe the ninjas, but then they separate those later on, but there's these tiny ninjas. So, oh wait, it's fuzzies. Why'd it take me? It's fuzzies. There's a larger version of the bullet things, bonsai bills I believe, and then they go on to say there's these tiny ninjas I'm pretty sure were created for more opportunities for toys. No, they were in the games, get your facts right. The ninjas look so cute, I believed is for merchandise to be made. So, this one, once again, it does a lot of things very similar to the previous leaks. Roughly the same enemy list, it has the same description about their costumes, same description about what it looked like and what it sounded like, so mix that with it being on a completely different website to 4chan, and I definitely think that this might be true. Might, mind you. By the looks of things, this person deleted their account themselves. It was called Throwaway5602, so yeah. So, there you go. There's all the leaks. Let's look at similarities between them. So, as I kind of already discussed, we had two of the leaks saying that it ended with a dry Bowser teaser as the after credit scene. Two leaks saying the same thing about Mario's costume. I'm pretty sure most of the leaks said something about the way that it looked nice, so, you know, we got all those. The first leak and the Twitter one both said that it had a good soundtrack as well, so that's another thing. Enemy list was the same between the Twitter one and one of the 4chan leak. The second leak talked about how they were doing test screenings already, and now you've got two different leaks, one from 4chan, one from Twitter, saying that they were part of this. The IMDb page saying something about there being a underground system of pipes, and now this leak saying so. This leak being one of the 4chan ones. Bowser becoming big at the end, being shared between two different leaks. One leak saying that Bowser and Peach have the best dialogue, with another one saying that Mario, Bowser, and Peach have the best development. Sorry, kind of forgot what the word was there. The two leaks saying that Bowser Jr. won't be in it, with another one saying that he appears at the end, but that's technically not Bowser Jr., that's just Shadow Mario, which, while he is Bowser Jr., some people might not know that. Once again, it seems that a lot of the people that they did pull in to get these test screenings done aren't massive fans of Mario. They all have varying levels of knowledge of the series. The first and second leaks saying that the film is different how Illumination films normally look, and I think that's it. Yeah. A minute and 30 odd seconds of talking about all the things similar between these leaks. Can you see now why I decided to make a video on this? Now, the only thing that doesn't really fit into these leaks is the first one saying that the teaser will be released on Mario Day, March 10th. Now, as you know, that didn't exactly happen. At the time we're recording this, it's been 10 days since that day, so... However, this leak was made a little bit back, so of course we have to take into account the whole Ukraine and Russia situation and other things that could happen in the meantime. So yeah. What do you think? Do you think these leaks will turn out true? Do you think it's just a bunch of people collaborating together to make a ridiculously elaborate, funny troll? Do you think they aren't actually working together? It's just people seeing each other's leaks and going, yes, I'm going to write one with similar information but with extra bits added on that seem credible enough? Please comment whichever one of those you think it is, or anything else. Comment beans. Beans funny. Like this video if you want to come back to it, which, to be honest with you, you probably will. When the Mario movie trailer does come out, if it shares some of the details seen within these leaks in it, you should come back to this video and go, okay, that's what I've expected for the Mario movie now. I've just spoiled it for myself. Do consider subscribing. Like, I don't want to sound like, you know, on any of those big YouTubers or other YouTubers or anything, but like I'm just saying, 92.6% of viewers in the last 28 days, you know, they aren't subscribed. I mean, it'd be nice. But yeah, if you have watched a couple of my videos at this point, like 2 or 3 of them, do consider subscribing. I make videos at times and release them. Speaking of videos, next one will be about the first wave of the Mario Kart 8 DLC, and yep, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.